How'd I get here? This fucking abandoned building. I mean, I know this is some philosophical question that people ask themselves at some point in their life, but I'm only 22. I gotta go back. I gotta go back to the people who came before me. Back to the people who gave me the black hair and the blue eyes. At this point, the very pin blue eyes. I don't know where I started. My past is mixed up with theirs. Where did they stop and I started? By the looks of things, I didn't start. We came here from Ireland. Wow, that's pretty far back. Maybe I should lose this thing. We came from Ireland in the 1890s. Some captain, he dropped my ancestors off at a pier on 45th Street, 12th Avenue. It's 1987, right? Reagan's president. I forgot to vote. I'm in an abandoned building, 48th Street and 9th Avenue, talking about my ancestors. That's some good shit. All right, so they dropped the captain, dropped them off at the pier. And a lot of the Irish, they got on trains and they went to Boston, they went to North Dakota, but not mine, man. Mine found the first cold water flat and settled in. It's like my great-grandfather looked up and said, "Ha, look at this, Margaret, a tub in the kitchen. Now that's living." There's got to be a pub around here somewhere. I think I'll go make friends. And he made friends. And the first friend he made was Eddie Up and Down, who got his name because he knew everybody up and down 10th Avenue, and because he had one leg shorter than the other. Frank, I like you, Frank. What'd you say your last name was? Spillane? No. Not around here, Frank. Around here you'd be Spillane. They pronounce the E. Yeah. But don't let them call you Spillane, otherwise they're going to confuse you with some Italian and no good could come of that. I'm going to set you up. Well, what do you like more? You like family or money? Family? Good, you're a Democrat. All right, we're going to go see Tom McManus. Tom McManus is the political boss around here. He runs everything. All right? You got to meet him. Last year he beat out George Washington Plunkett for the seat. You should have seen it. George went to Tom and said, "Tom, there are people plotting against me." Tom said, "Don't worry, George, I'm going to go find them." And find them he did. And then he organized them against George. He beat George in the polls 2-1. Tom's on guy. All right? He's going to register you to vote, and then he's going to get you a job. All right, can you swing a hammer? Can you cut wood? Can you lay cement? What can you do? You got to do some numbers. You're good with numbers. All right, can you read? You one of them readers? All right. Can you whistle? You can whistle. He's going to make you a mail carrier. All right. Now, the way we pay him back is we vote. So we're going to register you, and can you grow a beard? Good. So many of the Irish have problems with the facial hair. So a week before election, you don't shave. All right? And then come election day, you go vote on 48th Street. Then you shave the beard, you leave the mustache. You vote on 43rd Street. Then you shave the mustache, you go vote on 46th. How do you feel about wearing a dress? Let's go to Donahue's Pub. All right? It's a great place to get a pint. And if the old lady's mad at you, Donahue don't mind you sleeping on the pool table for the night. Eddie wasn't kidding. Most nights there were 3 guys asleep on Donnie's pool table. It's amazing the Irish had so many kids. Well, the great-grandfather started walking the streets of Hell's Kitchen. There was nothing but tenement houses and fire escapes exposed like a poor man's eye. And the women, they sat on the stoops, and everybody knew everybody. And it was a small town in this big city. My grandfather knew that those old women, they were sitting there for one reason. And that was to gossip. Tell a gram or tell a lady. And he found out real quick who to be leery of. The street gangs with the names like the Gophers and the West Side Boys. They didn't believe in manual labor. Why? When you could get a slapjack and go self-employed. They didn't bother my great-grandfather. They knew he was one of McManus's boys, and they wanted them out. They did slow him down once or twice with a turf war. But then he just sat down in his pub, and people came to him to pick up their mail. He was the first And when before long he passed his mailbag off to my grandfather, who was just home from World War I. He had 2 arms and a job. He knew he was lucky. Now it was time to find a girl. Courting was easy back then, boy. You saw a girl you liked, you walked by her, you tipped your hat. After about a month of walking by her and tipping your hat, after about a month of saying hello, you met her father. If her father liked you, you married her. Then you moved into a flat right next to her parents. 7 kids later, you got to meet your wife. Now, Tom McManus at this time, he also handed off his job to his nephew, Gene. Gene was a tall man who carried himself with dignity, and he wanted to make a change. I'm determined to run this place the way my Uncle Tom had. He taught me how to keep my people. He said you never miss a man's wake. You can miss a church function, you can miss a school opening, but you cannot miss a man's wake. If you do, not only do you lose the vote of the guy in the casket, but of all his family and friends. And the back room of funeral homes is a great place for deal making. One of the first funerals I attended was for that of Joe Spillane. He died a young man. He left behind 7 kids. I felt for him having 5 kids of my own. And I knew once the money that was in that basket was gone, they'd be on their own. But the Irish always found a way to get by, especially when the cops were unlooking. I spent the next 20 years rebuilding Tammany Hall. See, the Salisbury Commission forced the resignation of Mayor Jimmy Walker, and the Democratic Party was all but destroyed. So block by block, voter by voter, myself and a few other leaders rebuilt this city. But a lot happens when you're not looking. So when I found out my only daughter was dating a guy right out of Sing Sing, I got concerned. I mean, I knew growing up on 10th Avenue she wasn't going to meet a tennis pro, but... The boy's name was Mike Spillane. It seemed like just yesterday I attended the wake of his father. Word on the street was good and not so good. He was a big-time thief. He was good with his hands. He was also good to his mother. He didn't drink, and he didn't steal from his own. I guess all I could do was watch this guy, Mike.
Oh, the shark, baby, has such teeth, and it shows that pearly white.
Here I am, folks. Well, you heard the story so far. Dad died when I was young, no money in the house, Mom drank a bit. All the things that should have gone into making me a criminal, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, don't buy it. Some people are born with larceny in their hearts, and you're looking at them. I love every minute of it. From the first time I sold a car, I was 9 years old. I talked my brother Charlie into getting into it with me. He worked the pedals in Ice-T. We got stopped because a traffic cop on 42nd Street and 8th Avenue couldn't see a driver. From there, I was off and running. Until one day, I was running out of this bowling alley I just robbed, and a cop yelled, "Stop." You see, back in '52, they had what they called the fleeing felon law. And if a cop yelled stop and you didn't, he could shoot. Well, he yelled stop, I didn't, and he shot. Right in the back, hurt like a bomb. I fell right in front of the Riverly movie theater. And they had insult to injury. The movie that was playing was called The Thief. Somebody took a picture. That picture went on the front page of the Daily News and out over the AP wire. I went off to Sing Sing. But that picture kept going, and that's how a guy like me starts to make a name for himself. But I didn't squawk. I learned early on, you don't squawk. You don't ask permission, and you don't ask forgiveness. And you don't squawk. Well, when I came home, I decided I was never going back. So what am I going to do? I'm going to steal from people who can't go to their cops. So I robbed a dice game here, a card game there. Most of the time I gave the money back to a dice game here, a card game there. Then I had to go back and rob that dice game there, that card game there. I was this nickel and dime stuff, I know. So I went and robbed the Piers of their payroll. $50,000 in 1958 money. This caught the attention of Huey Mulligan. Mostly because he ran the Piers. Among all the rackets on the West Side, he had two choices. He was either going to kill me or hire me. Well, he hired me. I went to work for Huey. Things were going great. And I was never big on the dames, you know, I never saw the odds in it. But I was walking down the street one day, and there in front of the political club was Maureen McManus. She had auburn hair and green eyes. I was smitten. I said, I'm going to tip the hat. I walked by, I turned around and tipped my hat, and she was gone. She went back in the club. I was in love. I found out a party she was going to, and I made myself there. I got the nerve up to ask her for a date. She told me she wanted to go to a racetrack. I was going to marry her. I got to tell you, my mom, she wasn't so sure about all this. He was all right. But a lot of boys liked me. It's said in a story full of gangsters and politicians, the one with the deepest, gravelliest voice is my mother. Like I said, he was all right, but a lot of boys liked me. Mike worked the hardest though. He took me to the 21 Club, to Gallagher's, to Frankie and Johnny's. He took me to the racetrack, and I loved the racetrack. Everybody was always so happy to see him, except for that one night at the track. He had his collar up and his hat on. I said, Mike, it looks like you're hiding. He told me he was cold. It was July. My dad had a lot of secrets, that's for sure. What are they going to do? What are they going to tell her that I was at the track the night before and I opened up my own window and let people bet with me? The racetrack doesn't like when you do that. But can I help it if I have better odds, huh? Now, I wanted to marry her, but I knew that Gene McManus was not going to let his daughter marry a hood. So I took some of my ill-gotten gains and I opened up a bar. I called it the White House. That ought to get him. So I had the bar in the front, the bookie parlor in the back. By Hell's Kitchen standards, I was a legitimate citizen. Time to go talk to Gene. Well, my grandfather was going to have to come to terms with this at some point, huh? What was he going to do? They were in love. And I knew part of this was my fault. I let Maureen privy to the things that went on in the back rooms of the political machine. I let her know the privileges that went along with being my daughter. Tickets to Broadway shows, passes to backstage at Madison Square Garden. I taught her the power that came with pulling the lever on the biggest one-armed bandit in the world, the voting machine. Why then wouldn't she be attracted to another dark world? Where the gifts that were given were out of fear of what could happen as opposed to thank yous for favors passed on. Guess it's going to be It was beautiful. We got married in Sacred Heart Church, and the reception was at the Pierre Hotel on Fifth Avenue. All my friends came. They said it was the classiest affair they'd ever been to. I made them promise not to steal the silverware. It was real silver, you know. I invited every big shot in the city and they all showed. It's not every day your daughter marries a gangster. I like Mike. I could see how much he loved my Maureen. But I knew he was going to break her heart. I kept the riffraff to a minimum. I did sit Huey Mulligan at a table next to the Manhattan DA, just for kicks. And I have to remember, politics and crime has always been strange bedfellows, but now we had a marriage license. I went over, I introduced myself to a certain judge. He said, "Don't I know you?" I said, "Yeah, you gave me 3 years." We had a laugh and not one fight broke out. And Maureen looked beautiful. It was a great night. It was a great night. It wasn't great. Well, the wedding was over. It was time for my dad to start doing his thing, kind of building some kind of life for them. Well, Huey Mulligan retired, so he gave the West Side Rackets to me. A couple of guys had a beef with it, but hey, like I always say, you throw one guy through a plate glass window and everybody falls in line. So I took over. I surrounded myself with some really good guys. Well, good might not be a good word, but solid guys. Guys like Tommy the Butcher. It always seemed like Tommy had two brains. One was lost, and the other was trying to find him. And then there was Jimmy. Jimmy was as big as he was loyal. Jimmy once robbed the bank as a priest, and when the judge asked him if he had anything to say for himself, he said, "It couldn't have been me, Your Honor. It wasn't my parish." I had my guys, I had the rackets. Time to start having kids. Well, it's 1964, huh? That place was like an enchanted playground. When my dad was king and everything seemed right. My dad read the New York Times every day. Now, you might not think that's a big deal, but in Hell's Kitchen, it's considered uppity to read the racing. Oh, why are you reading that? It's right up on the board. What do you think? And one of the things he read in the New York Times was that crawling was just as good for you as swimming. I woke up in the morning and this is what I saw. Now, here's a guy who had meetings with, guys like Fat Tony Solano, Paul Castellano. He sat down with murderers, he ran the docks, and he would crawl around the apartment. I can tell you one thing. He may have let people see him read the New York Times, but this crawling, he kept to himself. My dad loved to walk. He'd take me around the neighborhood and, it was Maxie's Candy Store with these great egg creams, and I'd always get a Pez candy for the Mickey Mouse dispenser I kept in my pocket. Block down, it was Buster Brown shoes with this plastic horse in the front you could ride for a nickel. Another block down was Henny's Deli. It had this big pickle barrel. Man, you could smell those pickles from half a block away, and your mouth would water. People would cross the street just to say hello to my dad. I thought, yeah, of course, that's my dad. But in truth, most were asking for favors. Mike! Yes, Mike, Mike, is that your boy? Mike, kid, my boy, the Madison Square Garden, right? It's opening, it's moving. What do you think about maybe, a job for him? No. I know, Mike. I know the thing with the painters union didn't work out so well. I know. But why did they send a guy with no experience to a museum? No, I know. How was he supposed to know to cover the artwork before he painted the wall? No. I know it was a Picasso, but Mike, it looked like this guy Picasso didn't even finish it. Impressionism? That's what they call it. I gotta tell you, Mike, I wasn't too impressed. No, honestly, listen. They never would have caught him if the alarm didn't go off. I know, Mike. Mike, he's a schmuck. I know he's a schmuck. But he's all I got, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. We turn down 45th Street and we go to my dad's bar, the White House. The White House. No mix, no O's. My dad was always down playing that Irish theme everybody else held so dear. He'd say, son, before we're Irish, we're American. Before we're American, we're New Yorkers. Before we're New Yorkers, we're Hell's Kitchen. Something like that. Go inside. I'd go in, I'd play with the soda gun. I'd press 2 buttons on this machine in the corner and music would come out. It was amazing. My dad told me there was some midget inside singing. Women weren't allowed to sit at the bar. Cursing, looked down on. And if you kept it up, you were looked down on. With 3 guys standing around. First time I saw my dad as something larger than life, my mom sat me in front of a TV set. I was only 9 years old. And what had happened was my dad had gone down to the heliport earlier that day, and he and a couple of tourists got on this helicopter. And the helicopter took off and it went right into the Hudson and crashed. Down at the bottom of the Hudson, they broke the window, it filled up with water, and they let everybody get out, including this 5-year-old boy. And at the water surface, my dad grabbed the 5-year-old boy and he swam to shore. The cops swore that my dad was at the heliport to scope out the safe so he could come back later that night and rob it. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Because in 1968, my dad, a career criminal, was a hero for the whole city to see. We'd spend our summers up in Greenwood Lake, this small town upstate. My dad would take us on the porch and smoke a cigar and recite poems to us, Annabelle Lee, The Raven. I found out later that he memorized all these poems while he was in prison. But it was cool. Every man has a temper, and my dad was no different. If I acted up with my mom, he would say, I am going to knock you into next week. I didn't know what that meant, but it didn't sound good. But the temper my dad was famous for, I saw once. I was in this park, and I got into a fight with this kid, and the kid's father was there. And the kid's father came over to grab me to break it up. Now, I'm sure he didn't mean this, but when he held me, his son punched me in the nose, and my nose spread blood everywhere. I went up the house. My dad said, what happened? I told him, he said, come with me. So, we walk into the schoolyard. The boy's father's coming, trying to talk about something, and my dad said, oh, you touched my son? Now you have to touch me. He hit this guy, and the guy went down. My dad told him to get up. He wouldn't get up. He was just staring off in his face. He said, then I knew what knocked you into next week meant. You know, every once in a while the cops would come and take my dad away for a few days. I was usually in school and they didn't want to tell me, so I would get home from school and my mom would say, your dad went to Florida. A little while later, I'd hear her on the phone talking to my Uncle Jim about where my dad really was. When I was 10, I thought there was a town in Florida called Rikers Island. The 70s came, and with it, a whole lot of change. The neighborhood that made it to the middle class all headed for the suburbs of Jersey and Long Island. White flight is what they called it. What they left behind was abandoned buildings and empty stoops. And then the recession hit New York. Ford told us to drop dead. The gas crisis came. This place was crumbling. And so was my dad's empire. His way of making money was fading. Alarms made it impossible to rob places. Bookmaking was no longer. Drugs were in. Porn was in. And with it, a new breed of gangster. My dad's men, the people he trusted, the people he cared about, all started to get killed one by one, as if they were working their way toward him. My house was filled with dread. And then, in May of 1977, my dad was gone. I don't know why they call it the life when everybody ends up dead. I'm 13. I'm 12. All right, I'm 12. It's 1977. My mom couldn't handle losing my dad and she got sick. Now that's Irish speak for a nervous breakdown. By now, he had a sour stomach, and he had ulcers from drinking too much. He kept to himself, and he was gay. He's in college, and he was in jail. So, my mom was sick. I'd go visit her in the hospital, and I'd hear these doctors say things like electric shock treatment. Try to wrap your 12-year-old mind around that. All I pictured was like jump-starting a car. I wanted to tell the doctor, I know what's wrong with the doc. She has a broken heart. Well, the city knew how I felt. Because on July 13th, 1977, the lights went out. And people started to scream, this was the real blackout. People started to tear this city apart. Sounds of feet, car horns, breaking glass. Everybody screaming, that's how I felt inside. The next day, the lights went on. My world was still dark. I was in Holy Cross Grammar School. Nothing will foul up a kid more than mixed signals. Like sending him to a Catholic grammar school in the middle of Times Square in the late 70s. The nuns were telling me I was as pure as a baby Jesus, and outside every pervert wanted to rub my dick for a quarter. But I knew, if I'm as pure as a baby Jesus, I'm worth at least 50 cents. I did have to learn about sex from somewhere, and so me and a couple of my friends, we went to the Deuce. The Deuce, 42nd Street. The late 70s, 42nd Street was like Sodom and Gomorrah. Signs everywhere. Girls, girls, more girls. Phony ID, billiards, this, that. And the guys, the characters that walked that street, long before there was FUBU or the farm, the only thing they had to tell you who they were was their walk. And it was like the street bounced below. And they'd sell their wares. Coke, dope, smoke, inners, outers, uppers, downers, yellow jackets, red jackets, blue jackets. Where you going? Hey, Blondie, come here. Stop shopping cop. What do you want? Or you had this guy. Angel dust. Angel dust. I got the shit that'll make you go home and kill your mama. We made our way through this. And we found the classiest porn place on the strip. The Pussycat Cinema. They only showed the best. Vanessa Del Rio, Linda Lovelace. This was the classiest place. Every Thursday night they changed the movie, and every Thursday night me and 8 friends snuck in. We attended more opening nights than Cisco and Ebert combined. We'd sit together for a little while and we would watch Linda Lovelace blow some college kid she picked up in a convertible. Only the college kid always looked awfully old. And then we'd split up the separate parts of the theater to take care of business. Now in Holy Cross they thought I was lazy, but believe me, here I was a real self-starter. Now, as far as neighborhood politics went, my Uncle Jim was in. He took over after my grandfather. He did his best to keep his people, whoever was left, and he paid a lot of people's rents out of his own pocket. I'd show up on Monday nights to help out, and really what that meant was just walking the old ladies home. Everybody was terrified of this city after dark. I knew I had to get a job, so at 14, I became the candy boy at the Neil Simon Theater. Little Orphan Annie was on stage, and I was in the back selling candy. And I wasn't exactly knocking them dead like Daddy Warbucks, so I decided it was time for me and the Schuberts to go parties. So every day before I went to work, I stopped at the 5 and Dime and I got chocolate bars for 50 cents a piece. I'd show up and I'd put them up in the front of the thing and I'd tell them the theater prices of $1.50. Now, after mine were gone, I sold some of theirs. My friend Greg, he worked in the coat check and he was downstairs, and during the first act, he would go through all the coats. And we always found a credit card. During the intermission, we'd hit Broadway. We'd get a shirt here, a pair of sneakers there. As long as you kept it under $50, they didn't call up. And we'd have that credit card back in that man's wallet, back in his jacket, just about the time Daddy Warbucks was asking Little Orphan Annie to move in with him. It's nice when things work out for everyone. Almost everyone. When I wasn't working, I was on the block, 49th Street. We played basketball, we played hockey, and I gotta tell you, I sucked in both. And the good thing about my friends, they told you the truth. Bobby, you suck. And they let me play anyway. At night, we take a TV down from one of our houses and we plug it into the street light. And we take a milk crate and we fill it up with beer. And then we turn the pump on just a little bit so the cold water filled up over the beer and it kept it cold. Man, we had TV, we had basketball, we had beer. Who wanted to go home? We'd stay there all night. My two best friends in the world were my older cousin Danny. He was only 5'6", and he could hit like a mule. And he was a degenerate gambler. I mean, he would bet on anything. And he had a series of ticks. He would hit his stomach like this, his arm would go like this, and his neck would go like this. Now, these ticks came out depending on how much money he lost. So, if you were hanging out and he was doing this, he didn't do so bad. If he was doing this, he didn't do so good. If he was doing this, he lost the fight. Now, my other friend was Greg. Greg had blonde hair and blue eyes and Steve McQueen good looks. He had a penis, like a baby's own. He would eat Quaaludes. He would take that penis out and he would play the guitar. His very existence was like a Jimi Hendrix song. This drove Danny crazy. Jesus, Greg, will you play that? This is bad because you're broke. No, I'm mad because I'm broke and I have a little dick. One thing's for sure, if I had that thing, I wouldn't be broke. Usually during the course of the night, cars would pull up with kids from New Jersey looking to buy weed. They were afraid of the Puerto Ricans on the corner, so they'd come down to us. Now, we always kept a couple of bags of catnip for these occasions. Danny was always our salesman. What do you want? We were hoping to buy some weed. We saw the Spanish guys on the corner, and, you know, can we trust them? Dude, they ain't Spanish, they're Puerto Rican. And their shit has so many seeds, you will think you're smoking a minefield. It'd be a lot easier talking to you if you put that thing back. Probably. Oh, all right, so what do you want, huh? We have a couple of bags left. We were going to smoke it ourselves, but we'll sell it to you because you're white. Can we smell it? Whoa, what do you want to cause a scene? There's cops all over the place. You look like you're on fire. How am I going to... Whoa, asshole! Before I pull you out of that car, let my friend back there fuck you in the ass. I'll take 3. grew up would come down and ask us why we were stealing all their customers. Danny would say, whoa, lock them. Remember Holy Cross history class? The Irish were here first. Then came the Italians, then the Greeks, then the Puerto Ricans. So if you ask me, they're all our customers. Tell you what, you can steal from the Ecuadorians and the Dominicans. All right, beat it. He was always there to tell me when I fucked up. Like one night, Greg and I, we took off all our clothes and we ran up 10th Avenue naked. I thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. But Danny, he didn't think it was funny. He said, what's wrong with you, huh? Can I tell you anything? It's okay to fight. It's okay to drink. But God damn it, leave your clothes on. Don't you know who you are? You're Spillane. All right? People are looking at you. They're watching you. They're trying to see how you turn out. They want to see if you're somebody they should worry about. Keep your head. Don't let them figure you out. Oh, I'm figuring me out. I knew who he meant. He meant the guys from the 352 Club, the guys who took over after my dad died. A lot of people thought they might have had something to do with it. They were a mean bunch. Just walking by that 352 Club gave me the creeps. No windows, no signs. This was a bar. They didn't want customers. They didn't want witnesses. The place was run by this guy, Jackie. He was the worst of them. If familiarity breeds contempt, then 3 generations of living next to each other breeds murderous rage. This guy had it. I avoided the 352 Club at any cost. They were watching me and I was watching them. They went about the business of growing up. I hit the drinking age. 15. My cousin Danny took me to Mike's Bar, 10th Avenue. It was an old time bar. If you could reach the bar, they would serve it. There was sawdust all over the place. And I wondered, what's this sawdust? Woman. And I was in love. We got to a house and her mom was gone, so she invited me up. I was smitten. I was going to try out everything I learned at the Pussycat Theater. So, I made my move. I kissed her. I went for her breast. She grabbed my hand, moved it, and smacked me in the face. I thought, I guess tying me up and calling me nasty names is not going to happen. I'll tell you something. Selling catnip wasn't the only way we made money. One night Greg came to me, he had some phony $20 bills, and if we could get rid of them, for every $20 bill we cashed in, we'd get $5. So we took them up to Broadway. We went to the arcades. And when a line would form around the guy dispensing the change, we would approach. He was usually trying to hit on some 12-year-old girl from Long Island, so he didn't see the phony $20 bills. We cashed in a dozen of them, right? And we took them back to the guy we got them from, Ray Flynn. Now, Ray was one of these street guys who fancied himself a CEO. He was like, oh, you guys did great. I'm going to buy us a bottle of Old English. Some CEO. Anyway, we had a couple of drinks, and halfway through, he said he had to get the money back to the guys from the 352 Club. My blood went cold. 352 Club, what the fuck did I just do? I was just working for the guys I hate. Guys who might have had something to do with killing my dad. What the fuck just happened? I told Greg I wanted no part of this, man. I started to walk away. Life wasn't simple. And so many people were phony like those bills. I started to hang out in the bars on 8th Avenue. Only in Manhattan can you escape your neighborhood by going 1 block. There I was. I felt comfortable in the shadows, in the little crevices that made up Times Square and 8th Avenue, and I watched the world from there. Any night you could see Vanessa Redgrave signing autographs backstage, or Paul Newman coming out of Tin Pan Alley in a full-length fur coat with a girl on each arm. Some nights I got to do more than just watch. One night I was in the Savoy Bar, this real bucket of blood. I was in there with 3 friends. We get into a beef with a couple of stagehands. So I get this one stagehand down, and I'm not letting him up. And all of a sudden I feel this hand go around my neck, completely around my neck. He picks me up in midair. I turn my eyes as far as I can, and I see the biggest, ugliest head I have ever seen. It's Andre the Giant. What had happened was Andre was hanging out with these stagehands. And he didn't like the fact that we were all fighting. And he came over and grabbed my one friend by the face, pushed him into my other two friends. All three of them fell on the floor. Turned around, I was still fighting. He got pissed. So now he's got me up in the air, he puts me down, he bends me over like I don't have a back. He starts moving me back and forth, saying to my friend, "You want him?" The barmaid jumps over the bar. She grabs him by the arm. She says, "Andre, please just let him go, please." It's like Beauty and the Beast. Finally, he cuts me loose. We run outside, the cops are there, up against the wall. One cop goes in to find out what happens. He comes out hysterical laughing. He goes, "Let them go. They've been through enough." I got called back to the neighborhood when I was 16. My Uncle Jim wanted me to meet him in his political club. I walked in, there were two detectives there. They handed me a subpoena. It seemed that Jackie was being charged with my dad's death. Uncle Jim hit the roof. He said, "You think you have to subpoena my nephew? Get out of my club." You never saw detectives run so fast. As it turned out, the counterfeiting thing hadn't gone over so well, and Ray Flynn was turning state's evidence against Jackie. So I took the stand. Halfway through my testimony, I realized that they had nothing on Jackie. All they had was Ray Flynn saying that Jackie told him he did it. They were using me for the sympathy vote, to get the jury to feel sorry for me. Fuck them. I froze. When he asked me if I ever heard Jackie's name in my house, I said I was 12 years old. What do you think? He got me off the stand as quick as he could. It was May. That's a stool, okay? It was May, and that meant festival time. Now, for a neighborhood defined by imprisonment and death, we had a lot of festivals. My favorite one was the 9th Avenue Food Festival. What do the Irish know about food? There we were. It was also the festival where all the people who moved out of the neighborhood came back, and they would hang outside Sonny's bar, and they would reminisce about the good old days. They would never look me in the eye. Nah. To look me in the eye meant they might have to acknowledge that they made it out of the neighborhood on the backs of people like my grandfather, the politician, my dad, the wise guy. And they might have to also look at the fact that they left some of us behind. So they didn't look at us. I hid my contempt and hit on their doors. While Greg went through their pocketbook. Greg gave me a wink and we walked up 9th Avenue. It was a beautiful sunny day. Spring was in the air, the sun was shining. It was one of those days that you should be happy to be alive. But I wanted to be anywhere but there. That was the first day I walked into this abandoned building. I rolled up my sleeve. Let the blood in my veins get warm. For the first time in my life, I felt the noise in my head stop. I didn't need answers. I forgot what the question was. So we became the Bowery Boys on dope. And I waited. I saw a desperateness out there shooting dope that was unfathomable. I made a score and I had a pocket full of money and I was out drinking all night. So about 8 in the morning, I didn't want to deal with the Puerto Ricans. I didn't want to take a chance on being robbed. So I met a kid I grew up with and I gave him money. I said, "You go get us 2 bags. You take one, I'll take one." He came back. We went to the back of Princeton schoolyard. He told me to go get water. When I came back, he set it up and he shot me up. Next thing I know, I came to with a cop giving me mouth to mouth and banging on my chest. I found out later what had happened. He put both bags in that cooker and he gave me a hot shot. The guy I grew up with figured I would die and he would take my money. What saved me was a woman who was hanging her clothes out in the back through her clothesline, and she saw the bottom and she called the cops. What a life. I heard Jackie came home from prison. Now the cops had nothing on him, but everybody in the neighborhood thought he did it. That was good enough for me. Got my hands on a gun and I waited on his corner. I pulled the hood over my eyes so he couldn't see me when he passed. I started to follow him. put my hand on the gun. I felt my back tighten up. I felt the hairs on my neck stand up. I started to slow down. This should be easy. I should just be able to pounce. What's going on here? But my legs wouldn't move faster. I was starting to break. I couldn't get a sense of where I was. And I heard this. I tried to think of that night where everything went down, to try to get this rage, to make me cross this line that few men can cross. But it didn't work. Somewhere, I wanted to hold on to the idea that there was something more than this. I was sunk. Put the gun back in my belt and I turned around. I couldn't do the one thing I was supposed to be able to do. Motherfucker, this is a lie! Some things aren't handed down! My life became one dope haze after the next. And I was walking up 8th Avenue and I saw Helen from across the street. I was so happy. I hadn't seen her in years. And I started to walk to her. And all of a sudden her face tightened up. And I thought, what's wrong? And then I saw her. She had on a tight shirt, a tight skirt. And she was talking to this old man. And Helen was selling herself. This girl who slapped me in the face for trying to feel her up was selling herself to this sleazy fucking old man. What happened? What happened to me? To my youth? To Greg? To Richie? To Helen? To whoever's on that fucking cell phone? I mean, this wasn't supposed to happen. I went to Holy Cross Church, not to pray. I gave up praying a long time ago. Just to sit, man. I was tired. I was so tired. I fell asleep, and while I was sleeping, I had a dream. I dreamed of that night. I was only 12, and I was in the kitchen getting milk, and the buzzer rang. I answered it, and the voice on the other end said, "Is Mike there?" By then, my dad was standing next to me, and he leaned into the buzzer, and he said, "I'll be right down." I said, "Who is it, Dad?" He said, "It's a friend, son. I'll be right back." "I'm going to go to bed, Dad." "Good night, son." I walked into my bedroom. I walked down the hallway. I said my prayers. I took the elevator down. I got under the covers. I walked out the front door. Closed my eyes. The pain from the bullet stopped. "Why didn't you tell me who was down there, Dad?" Because I didn't want this for you, son. Well, you left her. You broke Mama's heart. I hate you! I know, son. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I came to him. My Uncle Jim was standing there. Father Pete had called him and told him I fell asleep at church. Yeah. He asked me if I was ready. I said yes. I went to rehab for 6 months. The only one of my ilk ever to incarcerate himself voluntarily. Spent the last 20 years back on the west side. While I was away, Jackie turned state's evidence against the whole gang and they all went to prison. There's nobody left to hate. I've seen a lot of change. There's Starbucks, where the old methadone clinic used to be. Hitting on a guy on 10th Avenue is a whole different meaning. And that Mickey Mouse Pez dispenser I kept in my pocket took over Times Square. Never saw that coming. I've worked with my Uncle Jim, trying to keep his people and meet the new ones. My mom, they finally got her meds right in the mid-'80s, and she's doing okay. Still loves the racetrack. She loves to gamble. Here's a woman who cannot tell you what day of the week it is, but if you ask her the spread on the Knick game tonight, she's all over it. As for my dad, well, I heard a lot of names over the years. Just stop listening. Well, that's my story so far. A couple of years, off and on, I put it down, I bring it back, and put it down. The only reason I worked on it is because I submitted it to you and you said, do it. I guess I gotta work on it.
Have you performed it before?
Never.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have any comments or?
No, these are my friends. We just want to go hang out.
Yeah.
All right? Can we do that?
You can do whatever you want.
Thank you so much.